Look at this map showing the gap between India and Antarctica. That is roughly 13,000 kilometers of open, hostile ocean. If you tried to swim that distance, fighting the currents every step of the way, it would take a grueling 98 days. Even putting a motor behind you doesn't solve the problem entirely. A boat still takes 16 days of continuous, non-stop sailing. We are hardwired to think of geography as an absolute barrier because we measure the world by the physical endurance of our own fragile bodies. But what actually happens to our understanding of distance when we bypass biology completely and push the compression of time and space to its absolute limit? The first major compression is commercial aviation. You skip the ocean entirely, and that 16-day voyage shrinks into a 13-hour flight. Push the aerodynamics into the military sector, and a B-2 stealth bomber slices through the atmosphere to make the trip in 7 hours. And if you remove the human pilot entirely, a BrahMos cruise missile covers that exact same 13,000-kilometer void in just 25 minutes. Think about that. We just took a near-impossible 3-month survival ordeal and compressed it down to the length of a sitcom episode. External time and physical space are not fixed cages. They are highly malleable variables that surrender entirely the faster you move. If heavy physical matter can manipulate space so easily, how much further can the immaterial human mind bend time? Ancient Hindu philosophy explored this exact concept of psychological time dilation thousands of years ago through a mechanism called Maya. The texts describe a sage named Narada approaching Lord Vishnu, asking him to reveal the true nature and power of this illusion. Vishnu agrees, but first makes a seemingly mundane request. He asks Narada to fetch him a single glass of water from a nearby river. Narada walks to the river. But before he can fill the glass, he locks eyes with a beautiful local woman and is completely mesmerized. He abandons his divine task. He follows her to her village, asks for her hand in marriage, and spends decades building a home, raising children, and eventually welcoming great-grandchildren. He experiences deep, undeniable satisfaction. Every joy, every routine, every family milestone convinces him that this long, rich life is his absolute reality. Then, without warning, the sky darkens. A massive flash flood rips through the valley, violently sweeping away his home and everyone he loves. As the muddy water drags Narada under, his terror is absolute. His consciousness has fully accepted this fabricated, decades-long reality as the truth. Screaming for his life, Narada braces for death and instantly snaps back to reality. He is standing completely dry by the riverbank. Vishnu is right beside him, still waiting for his water. Vishnu explains that the entire generational lifetime, the marriage, the joy, the horrific grief, was purely Maya, an illusion generated entirely by his own mind. Attached to worldly desires, Narada's consciousness stretched a fraction of a second into decades of emotional time. Just as a missile mocks a vast physical gap, the human mind simulates an entire lifetime in the seconds to fetch water. Whether you are looking outward at a vast ocean or inward at your own memories, time and distance are highly subjective illusions. Our reality is bounded only by the limits of our perception.